Hello and welcome to another segment of Yay or Nay. For this one we're going to talk about backwards compatibility. Now, backwards compatibility with gaming systems is a nice feature to have. It's very convenient. It's something I use here and there. I think, some of the best gaming systems I think had it were, obviously Nintendo's handhelds. Like, you could use Game Boy on the Game Boy Color, and then you could use Game Boy Color on the Game Boy Advance. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of my Game Boy and Game Boy Color games because a lot of them I left at my mom's house, and I think she gave them away or something. But whatever. Most of them were games that really hadn't aged well, and I was never going to touch again anyway. But so, let somebody else enjoy them or add them to their collection or something. There are a few that I need to replace, but that's beside the point. Another handheld that did it really well by Nintendo was, I remember the DS. It might have been just one specific model, because I'm not like one of those that buys like every different variation of the DS. I got one in 2007 and still have it. I didn't get like the DSi and all that jazz, all the different variations, but that had a Game Boy Advance slot in it, so you could play Game Boy Advance games on the DS. Like I said, I don't know if it was just that model or not, but you couldn't play Game Boy or Game Boy Color games on there, just the Game Boy Advance. But still, like I said, it was a nice thing to have on there. And then, of course, you could play DS games on the 3DS. And while we're on the subject of Nintendo, another system that did this well was the Wii. And that was, the Wii, you could play GameCube games on the Wii. And then you could use, because fortunately one of the models had the slots for the GameCube, you could use the GameCube controllers and the GameCube memory cards. And the reason for that was because the Wii was pretty much just like a beefed up GameCube. It wasn't as powerful as the Xbox 360 or PS3. And see, that's the thing. What's nice about backwards compatibility is like it's a nice, convenient thing. If like a lot of some people, myself included, I hold on to all my old game consoles, whereas others might trade them in. Like, for example, let's go back to the mid 2000s. Say they might trade in their PS2 to put toward the PS3 or something, but they still keep their old games. Like I said, it's just a nice thing to have. And that was another system was that I do use this one quite a bit. Is that the PS2 has great backwards compatibility with the PS1. I play my PS1 games on my PS2 all the time. I did have a PS1, but that was the thing. I think it was like last summer, maybe this past summer. I had let my brother-in-law borrow my PS1 because he got, I think it was Final Fantasy VIII. It was either 8 or 9. I want to say 8. Unfortunately, it wouldn't work on his PS2 for some reason, so I let him borrow my PS1, and it did work on that. But his son, my nephew, he just turned 3, and back during that time, like over the summer and stuff, he was going through the terrible twos and stuff. He was going through that throwing phase, and he got his hands on it on the PS1. So and, like I said, he's getting better though, and I love that kid. And of course my sister, because my brother and I are all very supportive of each other. And she's like, "Oh, I feel terrible. We'll get you a new one." And I was like, "No, well, it's fine. Don't worry about it." "No, I feel bad." And I was like, "Well, really, it's fine. Don't let it bother you." But what was I? The only one I never really used too much is Xbox. Is I remember the Xbox 360. You could play some of the Xbox games on the 360, and for me, some of them did work really well. Others I ran into problems with. I remember Simpsons Road Rage had no voices, which is, that's kind of the best part. All the characters interacting with each other and stuff, so there's no voice. It kind of defeats the purpose. But and then Red Dead Revolver, it froze or something. Or I think it kept freezing. So it's just like I said, it's kind of hit and miss. Then with the Xbone, which is backwards compatible with 360 and original Xbox, I don't really use that one that much. I don't know why. I feel like if I'm gonna play those games, I'll play them on the original hardware. That's just kind of how I am. I don't know why I'm like that with the Xbox, whatever. And now, And it's funny to think, like, because, you know, it makes no difference to me what gaming system or platform people game on. I hate fanboyism in general, but I also find it amusing. Like, sometimes it's good for a laugh. And what's funny is that, because, well, obviously PS4 has way more exclusives than Xbox One. You know, there's no denying that. I think it was because Xbox focused more on, like, raw power or whatever, but it's funny that, you know, people like, you know, Sony fanboys will, like, attack Xbox fans, like, oh, you got all old games to play and stuff, but then it's like, supposedly PS5 is going to be backwards compatible with PS4, PS3, and PS2 and PS1 games and stuff, and so it's like, now, okay, now you're excited for that, so isn't that a little hypocritical? Like, and that's another thing that's nice about the backwards compatibility, is that, like, yeah, these are old games, but sometimes, like, some of these games, like, well, like any retro console, there are games that, every old gaming system has games that have aged well better than others, and some of them are nice to go back and revisit, especially when you think about new and upcoming gamers. Like, let's say a kid who was born in 2012, he's gonna get he gets the PS5 for Christmas or his birthday, or whatever, this being his first gaming system, and so, you know, obviously he gets games for the PS5, and he's like, you know, when he goes to, like, Best Buy or Target or Walmart or whatever, he can still find PS4 games, and it's like, you know, he can play these on his PS5, and it's like, well, millions of people have already played these games, but I haven't, so, like, I'd like to check them out. And then when he goes back and looks at, like, wow, PS2 had some awesome games. Like, again, millions of people have already played this, and maybe they don't look as pretty as, like, the games on the PS5 or whatever, but, you know, I'd like to try them out or something. But, you know, you see what I'm saying? Like, that's why I think backwards compatibility, it is a great, nice feature. It's a convenient thing to have. So, like I said, I don't always use it, but I use it here and there, but, like, again, it's a convenient thing to have, you know? Especially if you hold on to your old games. So, that's it for this yay or nay segment. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.